In 2020, Johnny Depp was one of the biggest stars in the world, but almost overnight, Hollywood stopped calling, major studios moved on, franchises replaced him, and his career seemed to collapse in public. But this wasn't because of a box office failure. It was because of a battle that would become one of the most watched legal fights in modern history. A battle that changed everything and nearly destroyed his empire. Before the courtrooms, before the headlines, Johnny Depp was Hollywood's golden rebel. He wasn't the typical leading man. He was different, strange, unpredictable, and audiences loved him for it. From Edward Scissorhands, to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, to Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny built one of the most recognizable careers in Hollywood. And at his peak, he wasn't just famous, he was untouchable. At his peak, Johnny Depp was making millions. His role as Captain Jack Sparrow became iconic. Pirates became a global empire. Studios trusted him. Fans adored him. And for years, everything seemed unstoppable. He had fame, money, influence. But behind that success, his personal life was becoming increasingly public. And that would soon change everything. Then came Amber Heard. Their relationship quickly became one of Hollywood's most talked about romances. At first, it seemed like another celebrity love story. But after their marriage ended, the situation became public. Very public. And what followed would dominate headlines around the world. Legal claims, public statements, media coverage. And suddenly, Johnny Depp's private life became global news. As the controversy grew, Johnny's career began taking major hits. Studios distanced themselves. He exited Fantastic Beasts. His future with pirates became uncertain. And for the first time in decades, Johnny Depp wasn't being talked about for movies. He was being talked about for the headlines. To many people, it looked like his empire was collapsing, and fast. Then came the trial, and the world watched everything. For weeks, courtroom clips dominated social media. Millions followed every moment, every testimony, every argument, every detail. It became bigger than Hollywood, bigger than celebrity news. It became a global event. And for Johnny Depp, this was no longer just about reputation. It was about everything. After weeks of testimony, countless headlines, and millions of people watching around the world, the jury finally reached its decision. News spread across the globe within minutes. Outside the courthouse, crowds erupted. Social media exploded with reactions. Supporters celebrated. Critics continued to debate the outcome. No matter where people stood, one thing was clear. This wasn't just another celebrity trial. It had become one of the most closely watched legal battles in modern entertainment. For Johnny Depp, the verdict marked the end of a difficult chapter. But it didn't erase the years that came before it. The questions now were very different. Would Hollywood welcome him back? Would audiences still want to see him on the big screen? Could an actor rebuild a career after years of public controversy? The answers wouldn't come overnight. Because while a courtroom can deliver a verdict, it can't instantly rebuild a reputation. That would take time. And Johnny Depp knew his biggest challenge was still ahead. Hollywood is an industry that rarely stands still. New stars emerge, studios move on, audiences find new favorites, and after years away from major productions, many questioned whether Johnny Depp could ever reclaim the place he once held. There were no guarantees, no blockbuster contracts waiting, no dramatic overnight return. Instead, his comeback happened quietly, one opportunity at a time. Film festivals welcomed him. Independent filmmakers showed renewed confidence. Fans continued filling theaters and events wherever he appeared. It wasn't just about nostalgia. It was proof that many people still wanted to see Johnny Depp on screen. For the first time in years, the conversation was no longer focused only on controversy. It was beginning to shift back to his work, his performances, his talent, and the career that had made him one of Hollywood's most recognizable actors. The journey back wasn't perfect. It wasn't instant. But perhaps that made it more meaningful. Because the strongest comebacks aren't built in a single moment. They're built one step at a time, one role at a time, one audience at a time. And slowly, Johnny Depp was finding his way back. Today, Johnny Depp continues to move forward. His career has entered a new chapter. His story continues to evolve. And like every public figure, history will ultimately decide how he's remembered. Some will remember Captain Jack Sparrow. Others will remember one of the most closely watched celebrity trials in modern history. But perhaps Johnny Depp's greatest legacy is the conversation his journey started. A conversation about reputation, about public opinion, about resilience, and about what it truly means to rebuild after the world believes you've already fallen. Because in today's world, an empire isn't destroyed only by failure. Sometimes, it's tested by perception. Johnny Depp's story reminds us that success isn't measured by how high someone climbs, but by whether they have the strength to keep moving when everything around them begins to fall apart. This wasn't just the story of an actor. It was the story of a man whose career became one of Hollywood's most talked about chapters. And whether you admire him, criticize him, or simply followed the headlines, one thing is undeniable. His journey changed the entertainment industry forever, because behind every great empire, there are moments of triumph, moments of failure, and moments that define everything that comes after. This was the empire of Johnny Depp,